watch. Don't make me pull the biscuit out, the shit get stupid. Watch. Since when they sell Rolex at a BB spots? Goddamn, man, I could never tell you. I ain't rolling with no fucking tools, but we come and drill you. Two styrofoam cups up, we gon' come and spill you. When the bill due, young dude, we gon' come to bill you. I pulled up to the chicken spot, got a 6-piece, one biscuit and a stupid watch. Yeah, I pulled up to the chicken spot, got a 6-piece, one biscuit and a stupid watch. I got a bad bitch, yeah, she got a stupid box. Stupid die, you ain't getting shit from me, baby, stop. Diamond rings, pearly thing, you must think I'm stupid, huh? We ain't stupid now, well educated. Filet o fish, niggas never seen the fish scale. They always talking shit, nigga, I just wish you well. Niggas want the drugs, give them quarter flip to wish you well. Yeah, I pulled up to the chicken spot, got a 6-piece, one biscuit and a stupid watch. Silly, I pulled up to the chicken spot, got a 6-piece, one biscuit and a stupid watch. For really, yeah, I get much and plenty. Most your niggas still in the well, wishing for a penny. All the way and proud, nigga, choose now. When the biscuit up to your head, you better speak loud. Cause all my niggas ruthless, some of them niggas toothless. They ain't got nothing to live for, they shoot shit. And we talking about the beat, pull up to the roof, Chris. I'ma have you served well done on a toothpick. Spin around your block like a motherfucking fire spit. Nigga, we ain't camping, nah, man, this shit intense. Heard you talking shit on the block, but what's your intent? Pussy nigga. Yeah. I pulled up to the chicken spot, got a 6-piece, one biscuit and a stupid watch. Bitch.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Cypher. We're back for episode number 37. Once again, back to discuss all things hip-hop, both local and in the mainstream. And as always, I'm joined by my guys Sheridan and Anthony. How you guys been?
Shit, bro, it's been a crazy week. You know, the weather's going from nice to snowy to freezing to the Arctic tundra. It's crazy out this bitch. But I've had a good, productive week, you know, got some good music made and been working. How you doing, Sheridan? Drew?
It's been a better week than last week. I kind of got over the sickness that I was struggling with. Luckily, it only really lasted 4 or 5 days. The last episode was really kind of the last day I was feeling any symptoms. What
was it like to have coronavirus?
Stop.
You're gonna get anyone that finally tunes in.
Somebody who has corona is gonna be like, that's not funny. I actually had corona. Like, don't make that joke. So, don't start it. It ain't funny.
I apologize.
All jokes aside, we're happy you're feeling better, Sheridan. Happy everybody's doing a little bit better this week. I'm doing so much better. I just finished up my semester this Monday, so I'm a little bit more free. I have a little bit more free time. I'm ready to take a bit of a break, but then get right back to working it just as hard as I have been. But it's been a busy semester, so I'm very excited to have a minute just to relax. But there's still a bunch of
that feels good.
Go ahead, Ant.
I was just saying, I'm sure that feels good, bro. To have some more
bro.
free time. I know you was swamped last week.
Yeah, it's been wild. It's been a crazy semester. There were a lot of projects and stuff that I was involved in that I really didn't want to be involved in. But there was some cool shit I got to do too, like Live From Your Timeline and the podcast and the website all kind of wrap into some of my credits. So it helps me out doing Upstate Aesthetic and school together. It makes it a little bit more enjoyable. But it's just nice to not have so much stress on my hands. What we do have to look forward to, though, is we have the next competition episode coming up in a couple of weeks. That's going to be on January 6th, but the deadline to submit your entries are going to be December 26th, so make sure you guys get those sent into Upstate.aesthetic.ac at gmail.com. I'll be sure to tag that in the comments so you guys can submit. But we want to get as many people, as many artists involved in this competition episode as we can. We want to always get more and more artists involved. So make sure you submit a track. It doesn't matter if it has a feature, it just has to be your track. And that's really the only rule. It has to be your track. It can feature somebody, it can whatever, and then no beats. Just an actual track.
That's the only rule, and the only suggestion is send in your best track.
Oh yeah, and don't
said he's gunning for heads this time. He wants all the smoke.
That's a fact. And this rule shouldn't even have to be stated, but don't send in the tracks featuring Ant or Sheridan. We'll have to tell you to send in your second best track if your best one features them, because it's hard to judge a track that you're featured on. That's the only problem. It's very hard to judge a track you're featured on.
And I know whatever track y'all got with me is your best track, but still, you if that's the case, pick your second best.
Yeah, exactly. Just make sure you guys submit something. We want to, like I said, get everybody involved. Even if you don't win, it's real dope to be a part of that episode because there's so many different artists tuned in talking about the music that's playing. It's a real fun time. So if you get involved, this is the best way to do it. It really helps just the community aspect of Upstate Aesthetic. So,
and this might shock you guys, but and I'm saying this because I want the audience tuning in to know. It's a great way to find new artists to connect with or become fans of. I get put on to tons of new artists in these contests. Yep. I actually just reached out to Bartledew to do a track.
Nice. I'm about to do a track. That's what's up, bro. And that's the type of situation that happens with these competition episodes specifically is you see so much networking happen, and then a month or two later, a couple artists you didn't even think would work together, putting out tracks together because they didn't even know each other. So just being involved is great.
I can't even remember if he made the top 15 anytime. You feel me? But I loved what he submitted. I saw what he was capable of doing. It doesn't matter if it's one of the top 15 tracks because there's so much talent out here. You feel me? Just send in your tracks, give yourself a chance to win, put yourself on to some new fans.
No doubt. It's good to just be involved with all those really talented artists too. Like, you know what I mean? Just being in that pack of 15 or maybe just barely missing it. Once you tune in, you're like, oh man, I can kind of understand. These are 15 really great tracks. Like the competition in Upstate actually is buzzing that crazy. So get involved. It's a lot of fun. So
I'm sure there's some people at the crib like, what the fuck?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's a majority of people.
They're like, why wasn't I played? But no, it's all in good fun, and it's always a good time. So make sure you get involved in that. Like I said, you have till December 26th to submit. Next week we have Corey Loveless on for an episode. He's going to be doing the Cypher with us. We're going to interview him a little bit about his project he has coming for anyone. I'm really excited for that. That's dropping on December 18th. Excited to have Corey on next week's episode. And then on the 23rd, right before Christmas, we're going to take a bit of a break, let everybody relax. We're going to relax a little bit, enjoy some time with the family. But yeah, so just giving everybody an update on what we have scheduled, what's coming down the line for the Cypher. We appreciate everybody continuing to support what we've got. What have you guys been streaming this week? What have you been tuned into? How about you, Sheridan? You always got something.
Yeah, I've been kind of the first half of the week I was a little unmotivated in terms of music, so I was streaming a lot, playing a lot of Xbox. Been playing that new COD, but I've been streaming Monster, that anime still. It's one of the craziest shows I've ever watched. I'm not even halfway through.
For a second, I thought you were talking about that Justin Bieber song, Monster, bro. I'm not even kidding.
Or you was talking about the Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z collab.
No. Anime. We talking anime. It's about a surgeon and like a serial killer. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And then other than that, a new episode of His Dark Materials just came out on HBO last night. I didn't get to check that out, but I'm definitely going to today. That's one of my favorite series I've been watching recently.
I gotta check that one out. I meant to check it out before you even mentioned it, but now that you brought it up,
it's based on the Golden Compass, that movie, and then there were some books on it that movie was based on. But I think it's far better than the Golden Compass movie. I highly recommend it. It's a little like in terms of what I usually watch. It's like target like age is probably a little lower than what I usually am into, but it's done so well.
That's tough. Really That's tough when that happens, ain't it? When you're like, man, I know this probably is for kids a little younger than me, but I'm into this shit, yo.
Yeah, bro. Well, and bro, like it's savage. Like motherfuckers get straight up murked in that shit. So it's like there's like the childish side of it, but it's also like crazy shit that goes on in it. I'm really into it. It's almost like I would like. It's nothing like this, but in terms of like age appropriateness, it's like a little lower than like Lord of the Rings. Honestly, if I really think about it, it's just like it's about the main character is a young girl who's like 12, so that's like kind of what brings the like age demographic like a little smaller or lower.
How about
Well,
you,
it
Ant?
sounds
What you been
fire.
streaming?
I don't know. It sounds like I'm fucking up, not streaming Monster.
Yeah.
Nah. What have I been watching? I started this new show on Netflix called Episodes, and I'm not sure if either of y'all ever heard of it.
No.
You know Friends, right? Like
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston and everything. So, Joey from Friends, he plays himself. Like not Joey, he plays the real actor himself, and he's just a fucking rich asshole who's getting hired to do another show that pretty much failed. And I don't know, he's just fucking everybody's wife and just raising hell, and everybody hates him. And I'm like on the second season in a couple days. I don't know, it's fucking hilarious. And I love British TV shows. The main characters are British. The show starts in Britain, comes over to LA. So I'm a sucker for the UK TV, and that show's been hilarious. Besides that, music wise, I've been streaming the Toby Negligee little EP. And if I was gonna say, if y'all don't know, if y'all ain't up on him, gotta get up on him. Upcoming Southern legend. I think I might have even talked about it a little bit last week, but that EP is something fierce. You feel me? I've been tuning into a lot of local music. I was in the studio with Noxie, shout out DVM, or Damn, and Blicka. So shout out y'all. I'm gonna go see them later again today. I've been going back to check out their old music just because we was in a session. You know, I wanted to take another appreciation for their old tracks. So besides
That's what's up
her-
too, because Blick is nice, bro. Like that's something I've like. I'm not super familiar with Noxie, but Blick is dope, and he's someone that I have to sort of do that with, because he's not like everyone else where they're dropping all the time, but when he drops, it's really great content. So
No doubt. I mean, Blicka. I was just talking, and Noxie and Blicka are cousins. You feel
Okay.
me? So they've been working with each other for a long time, and they got some really dope stuff coming out. But I've known about Blicka for years. You feel me? I remember I was probably 17 or 15 maybe, and he dropped a music video with Dave East.
oh,
I was
shit.
like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And Dave came to Elmira and shot it in Elmira. I'm like, yo,
That's
this is
so
the
dope.
coolest
Yeah.
shit. Like, and so Blicka's been on for a while, you feel me? He's like local legend status, but he's also 31 years old, you feel me? I'm trying to tell him, like, yo, you're technically in your prime right now.
Right.
And the way he looks at it is that he's OG status right now, you feel me? He wants to help the new generation as much as he possibly can. But I'm telling him, you can help while still getting yours, you feel me?
That's
And
a
I
fact.
know he's about to get his because he's got a couple projects on the way. Them shits is no joke.
I'm ready, bro. I'm a big fan of Blicka. Did you listen to that Rico Nasty album yet?
I listened to part of it. I didn't listen
Bro.
to the whole thing.
It's so fire. It's got everything, bro. It's got. If you don't like the yelling shit, that's alright. She's got a lot of that, but she's
love
also
Rico
got.
Nasty.
No, I don't even mean you. I mean other people. Like if you're not really into the whole like screaming rap type shit, that's fine. Cause she got all the different flavors, bro. She got a song with Trippy. She got a song with Gucci Man, like Gucci Man, I'm icy. She got a 100 Gex type song, bro. Like it's fire.
That's interesting because. Go ahead, Ant.
I still haven't heard 100 Gex. I'm just gonna let that be known right
Yeah,
now.
you're not gonna be a fan of 100 Gex, but they're super like, bro. They're very. You will understand their talent. It just isn't gonna be your type of sound. You know what I mean? Like they're really innovative in terms of bringing new sound into the industry and like influencing other artists. But it's definitely an acquired taste.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Rico
imagine.
Nasty's an interesting mainstream artist too, because she's semi-mainstream. She's not someone I was super familiar with recently, and you mentioned Sheridan, her project had dropped, and I was like, I've heard that name before, and then I realized she's like working with like a designer figure company and released her own designer figure, and that's really dope to see like an artist within her realm doing stuff like that, just to one, increase your fan base, and then two, have a whole different merchandise outlet that is like totally untouched by hip-hop. Like if hip-hop got into that, I found, dude, there's a Kendrick Lamar figure that's not it's not produced by Kendrick. It's like some off-brand shit that's selling for like $500 on eBay. Like if artists were to get into that industry, it's a whole different crowd of what people are willing to pay for, just because it's like the sneaker game, because they'll release like 200 of one figure, but there's thousands of Kendrick fans who would buy it, so people are willing to pay that crazy money for even action figures and stuff like that. So it's dope. I had no idea who Rico Nasty was until I saw that figure, and then
she's
you guys
dope.
know who she is. So
And
that's dope.
she's like her music's dope, but she's also just a really cool person who's really connected with her fans and does stuff like that.
That's a
That's
big
what's
Yeah,
up.
and her fan base transcends hip hop. There are a lot of people I know that don't really listen to hip hop at all and
I
are
love
huge
Rico.
Rico Nasty fans.
I mean, shit, her fan base transcends to pop, like heavy metal,
Yeah.
even some R&B. You feel me? Like she has a
Yeah.
very vast demographic that she could choose from because she has an endless bag of tricks. to
Yeah,
pull
she
from.
can do it all.
Exactly. I want to take a second to just shout out the diversity and the dominance by females in hip hop, especially women of color. They're fucking
Mm-hmm.
They're going
That's a
crazy.
fact.
crazy now.
So, bro, Tierra Whack dropped a couple singles recently.
But
She's
yo,
crazy.
That Tiana Taylor shit is kind of sad. You know,
Facts.
she's saying that she about to retire, which
Yeah, bro.
everybody says they're about to retire. You feel me? But for some reason, I kind of believed her a little bit on this one.
Facts. That I agree. That's true though. But it's a shitty situation. But on that, without someone like her leading the way, I don't know if we would have as many powerful women changing stuff. So it sucks if she does retire. But the work she's put in up to this point has been so influential, and not just her,
She's got
but
two
other
classics.
artists. But other artists in general really paving the way and help make it so we have that opportunity now to really appreciate the female in hip hop. So, I have not been streaming a whole lot this week. I just started streaming the new Vori album that dropped yesterday night. I'm really impressed by Vori, but he's been really underrated. Apparently, he's signed by Meek Mill. If you get a second to check it out, it's real dope. It's like some R&B type stuff. And then. Yeah, Vory. He's real dope. Meech actually posted something on his story about him a couple weeks ago. And so I was like, let me check this out. And I'm a super fan of Vory now. So I'm hype he just dropped that project. I've been listening to that. And then otherwise, I haven't been listening to a whole lot. Listening to a little bit of the Kid Leroy. So I've been feeling like Sheridan, where I know I'm listening to something that's not really for my age demographic, but I still fuck with it. So.
It's still fire. It's still fire. He's still fire.
Like
I'm
the
a big
name,
Kid Leroy fan.
I fucks with the Kid Leroy, and I don't want to take anything away from him. I just thought he was super talented. I watched a video about how he fucked over everybody that put him on, and then I found out about Saint Kid, and I'm like, Saint Kid's just gonna be a better version of the Kid Leroy in a little bit. You feel me? Like he said, that's just how
That's
I feel.
crazy.
But
I have no idea about all that. So.
oh, bro. Well, the Kid Leroy had somebody writing all his music, put him on. He was his producer, his engineer. He got him the little bit of buzz he had. He was real cool with his family, and then he had label deals, opportunities, and the labels basically were like, "Yo, we don't want the other guy. We don't, and
Right.
don't give him half. Don't give him nothing.
Dang.
You would cut him off completely. That's a story for a different day, though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The name Vori made me remember an artist that I got put onto this week that I've actually been listening to. His name is, I want to say Murray, but it's like Morray, and he reminds me of like Rod Wave a little bit. He's like he's one of those fat dudes with a crazy church voice, but raps about street shit. You feel me? It's so gas. So shout out my mans for putting me on, because he's somebody I'm gonna definitely be checking out.
Facts. There's a bunch of new local music to check out too, though. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out Skrilla by G Scoff and Saint Kid, make sure you check that out. Ryan Bronson also dropped a track this week titled Easy. We got Special from Eucalyptus and G Mills. Saint Kid also dropped a solo track this week titled Ruins. We got Fly for School from Sha Rax and LA Get Lit. And then Smavs dropped a track titled Distance as well. So shout out to Saint Kid especially. He's been dropping a ton of music. I don't know, Aunt. You always ask me every week. I'm always wrong on the last name.
I didn't know if that's the same artist you're talking about, or Smavs is a different artist.
Nah, it's probably you're probably right. It's probably Smavs. SMAVS.
It's Smavs. That's my boy.
Smavs, yeah, that's my boy.
Shout out
when
to Gavin.
I performed at Grassroots for the first time, right? And we packed the stage, right? 200-300 people, and I never stage dove in my life. This nigga Smavs ran up from the crowd, like broke into the stage, and then stage dived off the stage, and he did it like 3 times, and one of them they didn't even catch his ass.
That's rough. That's rough. But yeah, there's a bunch of music out.
Like somebody blocked the door. Like
That's funny. Saint Kid has been dropping a lot recently. I wonder if he's planning on dropping like a project, or if it's just his plan is just to drop almost on the same type of schedule that some people have been on, once every couple weeks, once a week type thing. It's been interesting to see, because he was quiet for a while this year, removed a bunch of music off of his Spotify and stuff like that, cleaned everything up, and then threw a couple different tracks on over the last couple months. So I'm impressed. I think he should give them some time to live, though. Give those tracks some time to breathe, bro. Especially Location. You should have pushed that one way heavier. You said it yourself that it was one of your best tracks. So if you feel that way, you got to give it more energy, more time to breathe. You got to give it more promotion.
I will say that to you, that he could let any one of his tracks breathe more. Mm-hmm. But I think Location, is already sitting at 20,000 views, and it had a couple blog posts. You feel me? Like he's getting posted on like Elevator and shit. So I think, and his vault is never ending.
Right.
Oh, Location, my bad. Location does not have 20,000 views.
Yeah, that's Calling. That's Calling. The one he dropped before that, Calling, I think. He had pushed that one for a little bit, yeah. And it was getting
Hold
the
Me
streams.
Down's got 33K.
Yeah, regardless, he's going ham right now. And as long as he keeps the promo up and keeps on reaching out to new blogs and getting posted, his vault is never ending.
That shit
like,
is
he's
hard
hard
at like 18, 19, 20. Imagine like being young like him, it's got to be harder, you know what I mean? To really focus in on that, and not to like focus in on making the connections with media outlets or blogs or whatever, and being like, yo, can you promo this? Yo, can you do that? Trying different shit on your social media, because his following, honestly, is probably way different than ours. His is a bunch of young kids he's going to school with and shit, so everything he tries, he's leaving himself the potential to get clowned about tomorrow morning, technically. So,
and he has an alternative fan base, an alternative image, and to go with some pretty mainstream sounding music. He gets into a darker bag. He can get into his dance hall type bag. You feel me? He can do a lot of the same thing in different ways. And I know that Saint Kid will be able to drop a track like Location whenever he wants. And to be honest,
that's a horrible mentality to have right now, though, because if you're good, bro, you got to put that time behind it, because just because you could do it whenever you want, like, it's a great mentality to have, and the confidence and shit. But if you can't, or if you don't, like, you have these ones sitting here that have already been here. Yeah, they can always regain traction, and you can always reutilize them. I'm just saying, put more energy into the releases, because your tracks are great. Like, your music is really, really great. You've seen a lot of feedback this year that has probably helped him feel a lot more confident. But don't become complacent with that and just start being like, let me release a new track. Get into a different mentality of being more calculated with what you're doing, because your content is so good that you need to start making a plan of like, all right, I'm going to drop this way, and I'm going to do this type of Instagram post with it, because the ones he's done that with were very successful. The ones that he hasn't done that with, unfortunately, haven't been as successful. And I agree with him that Location's one of my favorite Saint Kid tracks, but unfortunately the promotion behind it has been super lacking.
Yeah, I haven't seen what he's done for promotion, but I'll take your word for it. And I do agree with you in the sense that any one of his last 5 or 6 tracks could have been maybe that one that takes him to a completely different level. If he pushes it and gets it out to the right people, I think he has that type of sound. If I made music like a Saint Kid or a Meech, like I wouldn't drop another track unless it's completely picking up steam until each track hit like 50K, because that's the type of music that they make. You feel me? Like, once it starts steamrolling, it's just gonna snowball. And once it starts getting those couple thousand views a day from new people, it's not going to stop. But it's just about finding those new people. And like you said, at 16, it's really hard to even think like that. But I know Saint's ahead of me a year ago, he's ahead of me promotion wise and his business acumen to when I was at 20. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And so
He might be ahead of where I'm at right now.
He's just I don't know if he has a manager or what, or if he is his own manager, but he's on top of his shit. I agree with you though. Location should be getting pushed heavy right now. He doesn't even have a job. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure promotional money comes from trickles down type
Right.
shit.
Nah, yeah. That's a fact too. So, but I'm just his music is so good that's my only suggestion to him in general is just keep and stay up on it and just keep up on those relationships and shit because it's gonna benefit you in the long run. Another project that dropped that I forgot to mention, Process dropped a quick little 14-track project entitled Dichotomy onto SoundCloud.
Yeah, I read through that whole thing, like the hour he dropped it. It was dope. It was real dope. Did you guys get a chance to listen to it?
I was listening to some of it last night, but this is another situation where I'm going to beg him, it's too late now, but I wish he would have let it breathe a little bit more, his last project. That's all I'm going to say, and I know he wanted to release this one, so I'm not even going to spend any time telling him because that's what he wanted to do, so I don't blame him for dropping it. But I went to it, listened to a couple of tracks, but when you drop something that you say one was recorded in 2017, and I know your last project was your best project, I don't want to follow an artist done like a potential like backtracking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in that and he's so good. I know it's not gonna be bad music. That's not what I'm really anticipating is or thinking it's gonna be bad or a huge step back. I just know that I liked the sound of Candids. The even the Yeezy backpacker, Travis Scott, Kid Cudi type feeling that we got from that. So I'm almost nervous to attempt to listen to Dichotomy because I don't want to come back from that. And Candids was performing so well. I feel like if you wanted to drop something, bro, right now would have been a perfect time to get a music video shot and put out and re-push Candids a little bit more. And then drop Dichotomy at the end of the year or on Christmas Day, like I told you, just as a random, like, here you go, here's a Christmas present. That way if no one checks it out, like it was just a random day, like there's a perfect reason for it. It was a Christmas present. It is what it is. Like, right now, Dichotomy, it's probably a great project, but I just feel like a lot of people will be hesitant to jump right into another Process project, even though we liked the last one so much, mostly because this one is older.
I hear exactly what you're saying. There's ways to navigate around that, but the main way to negate that is you still have to be doing just as much, if not more, promo on Candids. You can't be sharing Dichotomy now like, yo, stream this. You dropped it. It was your throwaways from 2017. Your hardcore fans will listen to it, and whatever tracks they like, they'll throw it in rotation. But every day you still have to be trying to get new listeners to Candids. And you have to, like you said, you need music videos to re-push it.
You just have to be like, I don't know what Ryan's thought process necessarily is, but you got to be okay if Dichotomy doesn't perform at all. You know what I mean? Like, you can't go from Candids and seeing that.
Yeah, I don't think he's worried about it.
I think he knows it won't. I think it was more like, yo, please, like.
And I get that, but can you not see someone hitting a stride with Candids and getting probably the most streams they've gotten on a project, and then being like supremely disappointed when they drop something else and it's just not performing?
Not a SoundCloud
because
release.
I think he knows exactly where Dichotomy lies next to Candids,
right.
And I think the biggest difference is he stated it when he dropped it. I wasn't anywhere near as good mixing and mastering as I was back then. I wasn't as experimental, this and that. So if you get a new fan, if somebody heard Candids that doesn't know Ryan and just became like a diehard fan or wants to check him out again, they hear Dichotomy, maybe that turns them off. But if you know Ryan and you've seen this progression, it's almost dope to watch. It's almost dope to hear Dichotomy. But at the same time, it's just that's 25 tracks in less than 2 months. You feel me? That you dropped. That's almost impossible to promote without a label budget, unless you're very good at what you do. So you have a great point. I just don't think he's gonna give a fuck about
I agree. Like that, I say all of that with anticipating that he had an idea of what he was doing. And in saying that he can't get disappointed, I don't assume he will. I assume, knowing Ryan, that he had an idea of what was going to happen with this project. But it is something to take into consideration if you're an artist who drops a project that performs really well and want to follow it up really quickly. You got to recognize people might not rush to that one as quickly as they did the first one. But Ryan always drops great music that I am going to listen to all of Dichotomy, because it's even though it's 3 years old.
It's a good project. He played it for me yesterday.
You listened to all of it?
I didn't listen. I listened to the majority of it. I walked in when he had started listening to it. And we listened.
But it's less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's a real short project. And for me, I wouldn't have advised him to drop this at all. Now, not at all, but not now. I would have said wait a couple months and then drop this as something to like hold people over while you're working on the next project. But Process gonna do what he's gonna do. He dropped it. He dropped it on SoundCloud, which I think was a good move instead of dropping it on all platforms or something. And if he had done that, I would have maybe said if he had suggested that he was gonna do that, I would have maybe messaged him and been like, nah, don't do that, bro. But I was like, this in terms of like run length, again, it's less than 30 minutes. It's not. I think it's a good project. There's some really good songs on there.
It's a good project, and
there's some really good songs, and I think people who like just found him off of Candid's
are probably want to hear something else. Yeah,
they want to hear something else. They were like, oh, this is awesome. This is what he was doing a couple years ago, and now this is where he's at. I wouldn't have advised him to drop it right now, but I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
because of how well Candid's is streaming right now on Apple Music, and it's getting radio play. My aunt actually heard Humans play on WICB the other day. Yes. So like he's doing well. And so I think as well as the streams are doing, of course he could be doing better, but I think it's blown my expectations of what it would be doing the first month.
And shout out to him for that, because he performed really well.
Yeah. And he's got the marketing stuff going behind the scenes that he just doesn't post. He just doesn't post about it. He's a behind the scenes marketer. He's not somebody. He's an introvert. He's not somebody who wants to be on social media pushing his shit on everybody all the time. He gonna post a couple times a week maybe.
And let me tell you this, like what Colorblind was for me was a project that got me a different type of respect in the area. You feel me? And of course, maybe I wanted it to perform better in terms of views, in terms of monetizing. I wish I dropped a couple more videos for it. But Colorblind changed my trajectory and how people perceived me as an artist in the area. They're completely different projects. But even if Candid's never does the streams that you think it could do, this is the project that makes everybody in Upstate like, oh shit, Process is a fucking problem. They have to look at him differently because of this. You feel me? So as long as he can keep consistently dropping music at that level or better, then it's a W for him, because this is really breaking down the door for him, regardless on how it streams. That's how I look at it.
Facts. And then the last note on this project Dichotomy, that a reason why I probably haven't tuned into it yet is I totally agree that putting it on SoundCloud is best, but when I find 2 or 3 tracks on the project that I really, really like, because I know I will, know in process, I'm going to be bummed that I always have to run to SoundCloud to check them out. So that's just another reason why like some people might hesitate to jump on any SoundCloud releases. That's my biggest takeaway from SoundCloud is like I love checking out a project once or twice, but if that's the only spot I can listen to a song and I love the song, I'm like, damn. Like Meech had me going to SoundCloud every day for mad long. So
I know, and he still got like what 3 tracks on streaming services, and it's crazy. But SoundCloud is just a different type of platform. Like some people perform significantly better on it because that's where their following is.
Yeah.
And you can make money off
And
SoundCloud.
yeah,
now,
well,
too.
it's smart to try and diversify that, because there are people who strictly listen to SoundCloud who don't want to pay for Spotify or whatever, and there are a lot of mainstream artists who put their projects on SoundCloud eventually. So people just listen to SoundCloud. So
Jake posted this the other day, and I stopped dropping music on SoundCloud for a couple different reasons. Jake posted I want to say a week ago on his story. He was like, artists, please stop sleeping on SoundCloud. Even if you have your music on streaming services, or at least funnel it back eventually, because there's still a whole different target
User
of
base,
people
yeah.
on SoundCloud that don't pay for streaming platforms. You feel me? Or that's their go-to method. I think Two-Face and What's Love are both over 100K on SoundCloud. So if you know how to use the repost and get in front of new listeners properly, it's a great platform. And Sheridan just said you can monetize now, and it's been like that for a little bit.
SoundCloud pays you more than Spotify does.
damn,
Crazy. I think it might pay you more than Apple Music.
damn.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, so definitely check out all that music we've mentioned. We got some interesting topics to cover. This first one is an interesting one for sure. We've definitely heard about it over the last week or so that Casanova was arrested. The reason I want to talk about this subject is there are now claims that an interview he did with VLADTV led to Casanova incriminating himself. He was discussing some situations he had been involved in while he was in prison that were later used against him for this arrest. Just a situation of artists getting themselves into situations by talking too much during interviews. It's a weird situation for myself when I try to interview people, and I'm not even interviewing people in that type of life 90% of the time. So it's strange when watching a Vlad interview, especially.
You think he's gonna sing?
Well, if you take Casanova's word for
From
it,
another interview he did.
but I don't. It really all depends on the situation. Casanova, out of his mouth, said that he was innocent. So did his girlfriend, but it's not, or wife. It's not like he's gonna come out and say I'm guilty. So it's really a different type of situation. I'm not sure the details, just like 6ix9ine's were. They're not as available. We didn't watch this crumble down in front of our eyes. This was more of a shock to a lot of people. I watched the Vlad interviews when they came out from Casanova, and at the time I was like, yo, this nigga gotta be on parole. He gotta be on probation right now. Like, I don't know how he's talking like this. And I don't even think what I was worried about is what ended up getting him wrapped back up. But Cass is a real dude. You know, if he snitches, he snitches. He'll lose a lot of respect from different groups of people. But out of his mouth, he said any millionaire that's facing 20 plus years is snitching. I don't care who you are. Those are out of his words. And I'm pretty sure you're a millionaire by now, and you just got hit with the RICO. So we'll see how that turns out.
Mm-hmm. That's a crazy situation for him, with just like 2 different interviews screwing yourself in 2 different situations, one with the police and one with the streets. Like,
I can't put this on Vlad. Vlad does a lot of bullshit. But you can only incriminate yourself. Vlad can't say anything to incriminate you. And his job
but he can lead you on a path to start.
Nah, that's Cas's fault.
There's a point. It's his fault for even doing a Vlad interview at this point in the game, when everybody knows doing a Vlad interview sets you up for getting locked up. Like, Vlad's the interviewer who's willing to ask the questions that are going to put you in a position to be fucked. And there are editing processes that can be had where you just don't include the incriminating shit. But I mean,
Vlad interviews dudes that have spent life in prison, dudes that should have spent life in prison, that somehow never managed to get arrested. He interviews straight drug dealers, niggas that never rapped a day in their life. They only sell drugs.
Right, but there are mad people who interview all of those same exact people, and their interviews are not consistently utilized to put people in prison. Like,
I don't
Vlad
have
is not the
anything to
only
say
one
about-
interviewing these drug dealers and these criminals and these people. Vlad is not the only one who's interviewed Cass. Vlad is not the only one who's interviewed any of these people who've got arrested.
Let me just get that clear. Fuck Vlad. You feel me? I'm not trying to cap for Vlad. I'm not caping for him or nothing like that. But I
Sheridan
put the
was.
blame on Casanova.
Sheridan
You
always
feel
caping for these bloggers.
I was just gonna say I don't like bloggers, bro.
You caping for academics, for
No.
everybody, bro.
You can't, no, that's because he has a crush on 6ix9ine. That's the only reason why. He looked off into the distance.
I'm Lil Tracy, bro. I fuck with Lil Tracy a lot more than I fuck with 6ix9ine, and Lil Tracy got big beefs with academics. I don't fuck with academics.
All right.
Lil Tracy took academics' girl, then gave her back.
Ooh, Selena?
Nah.
I'm gonna say because that's not DJ Academics girl. That's everybody's girl.
That's everybody's
Nah,
girl.
some other girl. Nah, just some other IG top, bro.
But to the Vlad situation, like, I get it. Artists absolutely have to incriminate themselves. And that's why even artists listening now, when you get into that point and start doing interviews, watch what you say and don't be saying some shit. And that's where it's fucked up. Is because when you're just starting to do interviews, and for Casanova it really don't count. But I'm imagining some of these young cats doing an interview and they come from the streets and they never really even been up on Vlad or been up on the Breakfast Club or anywhere. So they want to sound so cool. So they start just spewing off shit to sound cool, and then.
But that's not Vlad's fault.
No, I'm
Like,
not saying it's Vlad's fault. I'm saying that's the artist where they got to be smart. When you get into that position, don't let that starstruck or that anxiousness or whatever you want to call it get you in a position where you just start saying shit to try and sound like you're a cool person, because it's just gonna fuck you over. Like,
when you value your perception and the hopes of this interview segment getting 1 million views more than you value your freedom, then that's really, like, I know exactly what you're saying. At the same time, I watched these 16-year-olds and 19-year-old scammers who just became rappers because now they have hundreds of thousands of dollars illegally, who can do a whole interview at 17 or 19, 20 years old and never incriminate themselves because they know what the fuck will put them in jail. That's what it's all about. You have to be aware of what's going on, and that hip-hop police are a real thing. I don't know if y'all remember that Chameleonaire and Slick Rick song from back in the day, and if not, I gotta put y'all on, because hip-hop police are at an all-time high. This shit
right now, yeah, between Casanova, G Herbo, and then A Boogie yesterday or Monday, it's just like it's a cycle of, and it's just all crazy. And there was a point made on the Joe Budden podcast earlier this week or last week about how these artists are in a position where they're not making a ton of money in what they do in artistry and making music. They're not making a ton of money off touring, so they're going back to some of the shit that got them caught up in the past, and now they're getting caught up again because they're not making money off of streaming and shit, so they got to go back to some of the old shit. And I don't know if that's what A Boogie and Casanova or G Herbo are doing, but if you're out scamming someone and you're a top level artist, you're probably a little down bad because of the pandemic. So I get it, but it's
just stuck in their ways.
That too.
There's a lot of dudes that just get stuck in their ways. You feel me? And like you said, we can't speak because we don't know exactly what the situation is. But between those two options, it gets hard out here. The rappers.
Well, and I can't even imagine being an artist who came from the streets. Like, you were a scammer, you were a hustler. Now you're making mad money being an artist. Now touring is cut off and you're not making mad money anymore. You only know one way. So, but it's just a matter, you got to be careful, man, because everybody's getting arrested. It's just a shitty situation. So, not everybody, but just don't get caught up. Yeah.
When you're that high profile,
you gotta stop.
Somebody's always gonna be watching you. I mean, these dudes out here scamming for a couple $1,000s that have never gotten 1,000 views on a song are gonna get caught. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, so if you
gotta stop, bro.
If you're on the Billboard charts, if you have an album that's coming out and you got 3 million followers and you're out here scamming,
there are definitely other ways to make money. You just gotta find it. That's it. So, but it's a crazy situation.
If you have $1 million, if you have tangible money, if you have assets, once you have money, it becomes infinitely easier to make money. That's how the world works. You feel me? You just have to know where to allocate your funds and have people in your corner that are trying to get you to place it in the right ways. That's why I never understand how people get clean money and turn it dirty. That was my biggest problem about the 6ix9ine case. And I say problem because I knew the nigga was going to snitch. If you thought he was going to hold it down, you're kidding yourself. The biggest problem about 6ix9ine's shit is that he turned $1 million empire into some illegal shit. You feel me? Like, that's what all these famous artists are doing, and it's just shooting yourself in the foot. It doesn't make any sense.
Speaking of 6ix9ine, it's not on the docket, but Sheridan's boy is dropping this Friday.
I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, bro, he's dropping a track. Shooters is what it's called. So.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. 6ix9ine back at it, but nah, the Vlad situation's crazy. You got to be careful.
You think it's gonna be better than the album, worse than the album, or on par?
It's gonna be the same old shit.
I will say this. I think I didn't know he was dropping a track, but I'm assuming whatever he drops next, it's going to be better than the album because it's sink or swim for this nigga right now. It's do or die. He has to put out something innovative or something that hits exactly the same.
I think if he believes that,
he's doing videos with Nelk boys, bro. He's good.
I think if he believes that, he would have like a feature on it. But like, because if it's sink or swim, he really needs something like that Nicki track where it's gonna pull him back up in that upper echelon. But
bro, if he drops a track where he's name dropping, or if he drops a track instigating,
bro,
he's gonna go to jail. He's gonna go back to jail if he does any of that shit.
This is a reach, but like if he talked about something like Tory Lanez or something like that, he would definitely get a lot of buzz off of that.
What Tory Lanez and Quando Rondo, like that's like.
Yeah, the whole song's about Tory Lanez and Quando Rondo just clowning them. That shit'll go viral 100%.
That's the only.
The name Shooters it has me intrigued. It sounds like a very stereotypical or cliche, regular sounding 6ix9ine songs, but he be having some weird ass names to a lot of his songs. This is almost more regular than a lot of shit he comes out with. So it might even be like a drill track. You feel me? Who knows what it's really gonna be? I think if he hopped on the drill wave,
if it's a pop track,
he also might not drop anything because I just got done yesterday saying J. Cole was gonna drop last night and was off on that one. But the blogs are talking and they say Tekashi's dropping. I would be mad as hell. Fuck Zane Lowe for that one, and he had people on the internet assuming Cole was dropping, and I bought right into it, and here we are.
I was gonna say fuck you too. You gotta realize you was complicit. Like
You're right.
You had me telling all my friends that J. Cole was about to drop.
You had them. Now they're gonna think you're a fan. They're gonna think you.
My friends, most of them like J. Cole.
Like what's wrong? Nigga said nah. What's wrong with being a J. Cole fan? First of all, like
nah. I ain't saying nothing's wrong with it. I was just gonna say most of them like J. Cole, but they just know how much better Kendrick is.
Oh my God. We're not going to get into that conversation. Next topic on the docket we got is Chance the Rapper is having some drama with his former management. I'm a huge fan of Chance, but this drama I found hilarious and kind of like...
Me too.
Like, bro, the whole situation is crazy, but Chance, I feel like he just fucked the whole bag up on this one. If you guys haven't heard about it or heard about the situation, Chance's former manager, Pat the Manager, was let go from his position following poor album and ticket sales for the Big Day and the Big Day Tour. However, based on Pat's claims that Chance was actually the primary reason for the lack of success, citing that he was trying to drop a project right before his wedding, trying to do way too much shit before his wedding, and ended up dropping a lackluster project that got little fan reception. And so I'm just curious what you guys think. Should Chance have fired his manager? I feel like Chance is very much in the position of at fault of this going wrong, especially if Pat's not lying.
You can always fire your manager.
Okay, you're right.
But it sounds like it's like the Clippers lost and they scapegoated Doc Rivers.
Well, wrongful termination type shit.
But I don't think as a manager there's really too much wrongful termination. I think you could part ways when you want. unless you discriminate or something like that. You feel me? I think that's the only way you're not allowed.
Well, then what is he suing? What is it that technically?
Because he owed for like some royalties on some shit. He hasn't been paid fully. Is what he's suing for.
You can let go of your manager. You're still gonna have to pay them whatever you guys agreed on. You feel me? At least that's what it says in this book I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chance, I've read the article. I've actually looked into this a little bit. And just like you, Drew, I'm a huge Chance fan. You know, it's kind of going downhill the past couple years, but I still have faith. I think that he could tap into what made him such a great artist. However, from the manager's account, when he's telling you, don't do an album like this, and then you're so hell-bent on it, and you want to freestyle every song you didn't write like you typically do for your albums, and then you didn't take any of the feedback after you both were listening to it. Chance shot himself in the foot on this. That
album's garbage.
It is. That's what's like.
It's unlistenable.
Well, it's shot. It was a shot project to me. I'm just saying when you make an album about one event and the event is getting married, and you stretch that for what, 17 songs, 16 tracks?
Bro, it's like 1,000 songs.
Yeah, I don't even know. And so
1,000 awful songs.
It was gimmicky from the jump, but if somebody could pull it off, it's Chance or Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave Chance the benefit of the doubt. Everybody was saying it was going to be horrible, and I just didn't believe it. It was pretty fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty fucking bad.
It's awful.
And so I think Chance's manager has a pretty solid case. I don't know what Chance feels about the situation. I'm not sure if he's commented on it.
I would be pissed if I was his manager.
Yeah, and that's the strange thing is Chance's people commented back and said we don't really owe him any money in terms of royalties, so the lawsuit is going to be a wash basically. But in terms of like public opinion, Chance looks real bad here because the project was universally seen as bad, and now we see that it's pretty much his fault that it was bad. The writing on the wall was that it was going to be bad.
He's arguing with publications on Twitter and shit.
Well, and that was something that they mentioned too was him referencing the negative opinions, him going on to shows to perform the music right after it dropped, and then having to address the negative opinions. Like, all of that also added to it. I feel like, and I'm still a fan of Chance. I still want to see Chance succeed, but with that project and not the previous project, but I've seen the fall off happen. I've started to distance myself, not be such a diehard Chance fan. So I feel like someone who got out of a bad stock at the right time, where I'm like, man, he's just not good, and this just reassures it because, well, and I want to say he's not good, but his situation has not been good.
He's down bad, bro. He's going down bad. I'm telling you.
It's been disappointing, and somebody like Chance, when you hit the ball out of the park on your first couple of tries, you just set the bar so high for yourself. You feel me? And I think we always talk about artists that we want them to switch up their sound. We want them to try new things, but they're in a lane that fans are receptive to and it's working. You feel me? Chance is somebody that had a sound that was gold, and he switched it up a little bit. He switched it. He pulled it right under the rug from right under us, and fans did not fuck with it.
He took all the worst things about his music and just combined it into one album.
And the thing about Chance is like just his life in general. Going from and it was just a different time with acid rap. You're able to be just a free dude, like out living, doing whatever, doing drugs, having a good time, rapping about it. Now he has a kid, he's married. It's just a whole different life for him. So and he doesn't necessarily want to be the typical rap artist who has a kid and a wife that he screws over or isn't there for all the time. So he's sitting there trying to make it work. But it's very hard to make it work, and well, I mean, I'm not even gonna say that because Jay-Z does it just fine. So
yeah, I was gonna say you can not fuck your wife over and not make an album about her.
Yeah, you're right.
Jay-Z got beat up in the elevator though.
Maybe so. That's what Chance needs. Maybe is to get beat up in an elevator to beat some sense into him.
Couple in Hollywood, like in the show business,
right? The situation with Chance is weird. It's reassuring to me though to just like because I felt like the project was bad, but it's good to know. I guess there was a reason for it. I still don't have a whole ton of confidence that he's going to come back with anything much better in the future. I'm still a Chance fan, like I said, but I'm just not nearly as deep as I was. I used to be diehard, biggest Chance fan I could be, and it's sort of slipped off over time because of this. And so this is why it's reassuring. It's like I felt like the artist was fucking up what he had going on, what I liked, but I also felt like I could be wrong. But then to see how it played out, it just reassures me where I'm like, yeah, I was right. So
his song with Justin Bieber was pretty good.
See, you just on a Justin Bieber wave today.
Yeah, I'm
Talking about
say,
Monster earlier. Now his song with...
I was not, bro. Get out of here. I love Justin Bieber, so I ain't even gonna dispute it. But I was not talking about that song.
The name
song
in the
is
chat
bad,
is now
bro.
#1.
#1 Biebs fan.
I'm a big Bieb fan. He had a great album this year.
Wait. Yeah, there's a difference between being a Bieb fan. Are you a Bieb?
Are you a believer?
I'm a believer.
Sheridan's a believer. You know, speaking of successful white boys this year, let's talk about this Jack Harlow project. He said that he's gonna put one out this Friday, and he's saying he wants it to be a classic. I'll read this exact quote.
Don't laugh.
I'll read the exact quote. He said, 10 years from now, I want people to look back on this album as a classic. I want people to look back on this as the moment I shifted everything. I had no expectations going into this Jack Harlow project on Friday. Now
Really?
I have serious expectations going into it. And
Come on, son. Hold up. So do niggas think that Jack Harlow is just a what's poppin' now?
no, I don't think he's trash
Tyler
or nothing.
Harrow's better than What's Poppin', #1. #2, he's that's his best song, Tyler Harrow. I think he is a capable rapper. I think he's a capable song maker. I just don't have faith that he's going to be able to put out a full album of songs that are Tyler Harrow quality. And if they all sound like Tyler Harrow, then I wouldn't like that either. So,
Man,
I'd love to see it though. Like I'll be so hype if he honestly does shift into where I feel like maybe not even a classic, but like a great album. Because
it would need to be a big step up in terms of lyricism from most of the rest of his music, I think.
And that's and it's not to discredit him either. I just felt like Jack was more of what we were almost discussing earlier in terms of he's looking to have fun, not looking to be the best. So for him to say he's looking to craft a classic here, I'm seeing that in a whole different perspective. He's not necessarily just a kid looking to have fun.
I'm still not expecting anything more.
When did y'all like first hear Jack Harlow? How go?
You put me on to him when you talked about his last little EP he dropped.
Before I really knew who he was. Before I heard his like album that has just like kind of like his curly ass hair, you know what I'm talking about, and then he's got glasses on or some shit. Yeah, that shit. That was where I was first introduced to him.
So, Jack Harlow is somebody that is a great rapper. You feel me? And I use the term great loosely because I'm not going to say there's an abundance of songs that I can show you how great he actually is. When you listen from a rapper standpoint and somebody that prides himself on lyrics, trying to do intricate flows, Jack Harlow can rap his ass off. His rhyming patterns are very good. The pockets he finds in a beat are nuts. And if you go back to his earlier stuff, he could rap. And it wasn't like he was trying to be a fun rapper. His shit is just fun. That's it. He has that southern bounce to it. He has that fun little, I don't know, he's like a wild card. And he got stuck in a bag, I'm sure, because DJ Drama is sitting there like, we can take this southern bounce, we could take your flows and your natural charisma, and we could turn you into a hit machine. We're going to make a bunch of fun music for about a year. You're going to blow up, and then we're going to drop a classic on them. That's how I feel somebody talk to Jack Harlow. And I use the term classic loosely. I haven't heard it. I don't know if it actually will be one. Do I think he's capable of dropping something that shifts his sound permanently? Do I think he's capable of dropping something where he out-raps a lot of people that make as fun of music as Jack Harlow? No doubt. Son has substance, when he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
He has a naturally charismatic sound where I can't help but nod my
You
head.
think he can drop a classic though?
Yeah. I'm
Right
not saying
now.
he's going to. I'm not
I
saying
think-
he's going to.
I think it
he
would be
can.
so fun if he did. That's my only take. Like, because like all I can think about it is some other artists in the past where you don't necessarily see a classic coming. You're not necessarily expecting, and then, even in classic is a lot of people pick and choose their own classics anyway. But you don't see a classic coming from a certain artist, and the next thing you know, like, they're all of a sudden in just an upper echelon with other artists. I would love to see that with Jack. I wasn't expecting it, but it makes me excited that he is talking about it and has that type of confidence, because like I said, I've gone back and listened to some of his old stuff, so I agree with what Ant's saying too. But most of what I've heard, especially what he's dropped recently, has been the more fun, poppy type stuff. Maybe not pop, but more upbeat rap stuff.
Pop.
So
He out-raps Sci-Hi on a track. He really outright, like, point blank, he out-raps Sci-Hi on a track. And I guess depending on what you think about Sci-Hi's performance, that's how much merit you give it. But son, this is my only problem with this, is that you could have used a different statement to promote your album, and then a week after it drops, you do an interview and tell people, this is the album I wanted to be a classic based off the reception of the album. You don't want to put that title on the album before it drops and then have people be so disappointed from it. You feel me? But if you just promote it, you use some different verbiage, and then it drops, the reception is great. You tell people, this is what I wanted to be my magnum opus so far. This is the most important project, blah, blah, blah.
I think it makes sense, though, because it does get people talking. Like, that's the biggest thing. I don't necessarily, especially in a week where Cudi's dropping on the same Friday as you, how else are you going to get people to necessarily talk about your project outside of, like, dissing another artist instead of...
I don't... Why are people dropping right now?
Bro,
They think it's over, bro. They think the vaccine is coming and that shit is going to open back up soon, as a feeling I have. But
well, it's also...
I'm waiting. If I'm an artist on their level, I'm waiting 2 more months to drop.
And I don't blame you for that. But that probably factors into their decision making. A lot of the big name artists are still waiting till we're on tour. You're one of the up and coming artists who has a big buzz right now, but we should probably take advantage while there's not the craziest competition. Cudi's competition, don't get me wrong. And there's still some high charting albums on, but I think Pop's been #1 since he dropped. You feel me? I think they're hoping that they can beat out a Pop or maybe even Cudi. It's going to be hard to beat out Cudi. And assuming that they drop that in the hip hop category as opposed to the pop or something. But that's probably into their decision making. They factored that in. Like, what if Kendrick or Cole really does decide to drop anytime in the next month?
well, and
Like,
I think some A&Rs or people making this decision too probably just have like they're like because I see it in all types of jobs, but people are used to working a certain way. They're not used to shifting up their scheduling or how they do shit. So potentially they're not, probably not Cudi, but Harlows label could be like, well, we always drop in December. We always tour in the beginning of the year. That's how we're going to do it, and that's why this release is coming right now. I mean, that's honestly the only reason I could give you why Jack would drop right now.
But I'm thinking with Jack, like, if he truly believes this is a classic album, you drop this at a prime time to be able to get awards. This is like a weird time to drop in terms of being able to get awards. That's kind of what my point is.
By the time awards come by, this is going to be an album that was so long ago. It could have been forgotten or topped.
And it's technically not in the same year. It's in the same quarter. It's in the same quarter. It's in the window, but it's still just like, I don't know. You think of an album. You look at most of the things that get nominated. It's rarely things from the year before.
Well, yeah, you're right. But Royce dropped Allegory early January. Which is about a month away, and a month is a decent amount of time, but not that much. And that still got nominated. I don't think Jack's gonna drop Allegory, but critical reception. I think he can get it. He's gonna get the views. I think we'll all be able to look at the track list and be like, oh shit, this has capability, this has potential to be a classic, or oh, this might be a dud. You feel me? I think it depends on how many songs he's going with.
I think it could be decent. Like I just don't see.
It's going to be a good project. They're not gonna let Jack fuck up the bag, because he is going to be somebody that can be $1 million.
That's why I want to call it shit when it comes out. Just because you said that.
What? It's going to be good, bro. It's going to be good, at least.
I'm definitely I'm more interested in it than I was prior to him making this statement, so I will give him that much. And I'm just one person, but I'm sure there are other people who might feel the same way, in terms of they might have not rushed to check it out, but because he has the confidence to throw that behind it, they're going to check out a little bit of it at least and see. Regardless, he's up against tough competition with Cudi dropping this Friday, Man on the Moon 3. He just announced it this week, and it's still dropping this week. Are you guys excited for the project? What do you think about surprise releases this way?
Man on the Moon 3 or Jax?
Man on the Moon 3.
So we talked about this a little bit in the group chat. I'm not the craziest Cudi fan in terms of just listening to his music by myself. So I'm definitely gonna check the album out. I'm not crazy excited about it, I'm not gonna lie. There's one song, I think it has Pop Smoke and Skepta on it, and I'm definitely excited for that. I always wanted to hear Pop Smoke with an actual UK drill artist. I'm not sure if I heard that, and I don't think Skepta is necessarily a drill artist or a grime artist, but he does that type of music. Exactly. So I'm excited for that. Cudi, Pop Smoke, and Skepta sounds crazy. I just can't see this being an album that I go back and listen to just because of how Cudi goes about sonically, but I'm sure it'll be a good to great project. I have full faith in his ability to craft an album or project. It's not my type of shit that I listen to by myself.
It could go either way.
Super fucking hyped. I'm hyped as fuck. I'm really hyped to see Phoebe Bridgers on the track list. That's gonna be like an interesting, probably genre switch up on the album. She's an artist that I've been into for a while, and I just think in general, I'm really glad that he was selective with the features. That he didn't just load the whole album up with a bunch of features, and that he's kind of sticking to the formula of really being able to carry the album by himself. I think that's really like he's got maybe 3, maybe 4 songs with features. I don't even think he has 4. I think it's 3, and one of them has 2 artists on it, Skepta and Pop Smoke. I'm the track list in general looks really exciting. I think he's been dropping some of the best music of his career lately. Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying's like my favorite album by him. Kid See Ghost is one of my favorite albums too. I think that if he's able to like kind of go back and take some of that original Man on the Moon sound and fuse that with what he's been doing lately, it could be. I think it has potential to be his best album. I don't know that it will be, but I think that he's still capable of putting out that quality of music.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm very excited. Just as a huge Cudi fan throughout basically his whole career, like very early on listening to the early mixtapes and shit. So it's been a weird path for me as a Cudi fan too, at times just not really vibing with the music he's put out. I really liked Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, but it was also just a whole different vibe. So I'm curious if we will get like a shift or like a putting those two sounds together of Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying and the Man on the Moon, the original one, because I'm with you, Sheridan, that could be a real great mixture of sounds. I'm also real cautious with any Cudi album at this point because it's hit or miss for me. Sometimes
you could get a speeding bullet to heaven.
Yeah, exactly. So and I don't anticipate that either because with him throwing Man on the Moon on it, I feel like we have an idea of what to expect, which is nice. I'm a huge fan of Cudi, but I've been burned before by Cudi, so I'm very hopeful.
Whenever you have an installment series like this, especially one that's so praised and beloved, like the original Man on the Moon, I know some people that even like Man on the Moon 2 better than the first one. So when they're in
Yeah.
boom. I know when you have things like that and you go for a third, it's almost like calling it a classic before you drop it, except without saying it outright. You feel me? People are just gonna put that type of pressure on you. But Cudi seems to be at a point where he's making only passion projects. He's making music that he wants to make. So I'm sure he wouldn't put this out if he didn't truly think it was good music.
Yeah, I'm real excited for it. That's one thing. Like, especially just Cudi's path in terms of talking about some of the depression stuff he's dealt with, some of the mental health shit he's dealt with, and then sort of coming back over the last few years and talking about how working on Kanye for Kids See Ghost helped pull him out of that, and now we're sort of getting this project after that. I'm very excited for it, really, really hyped. I'm curious to see. He's got Solo Dolo Part 3 on there. That's an interesting concept as well, just continuing songs part into parts. I've never actually liked a second part or a third part of a song, so I'm curious if I'll mess with this one. But in general, when there's a follow up to a track, it almost never is that much. Well, I won't say I never liked the second or third, but it's very hard to follow up. Yeah, Tony's stories are the first ones that come to mind, but
I got you.
It's very, very dope though, and I'm very excited for Cudi to drop because, like I said, as a huge fan, and I think a lot of people have to be. It's just a matter of like, I'm almost bummed we don't really get a whole lot of time to enjoy the anticipation. It's cool that it's coming in a week, but it's gonna be a week. We're gonna listen to it, and then if it's not something you really vibe with, that's it. So it's a different process. I don't know if I love the surprise release situation that artists have been doing lately.
A lot have been doing that. It's crazy to see the trends. I think a lot of that has to do with the pandemic and the state of the industry itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like with the Uzi and Future album, like I knew it was coming at some point, but I definitely didn't expect it this year. Mm-hmm. So when it kind of just was like, oh, it's coming out, I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Did they announce that they were going to do one, or did you just expect it because
they had kind of like teased it on social media and stuff like that they might. And I was like, they'll probably, this is one, because there were rumors of a Lil Uzi and G Herbo collab album, and I was just not really interested in that. But when I heard about the Lil Uzi and Future, I was like, this is something that could definitely happen.
And this project too, Man on the Moon 3, has been rumored for a little bit, so it's not like he just randomly dropped it. And he's been rumored to drop a project with Travis too, which it's interesting to see no Trav features on this at all. So they're probably going to still work on something.
Yeah, that's something that I was gonna point out, because I definitely anticipated Travis Scott feature on this. Even though, just like Sheridan, I'm not upset that it's not happening at all. But I just thought it was damn near a guarantee.
It gives me more confidence that they're really going to do a collab project, because I feel like the Scotts has to live somewhere, and he probably could have thrown it on here. I mean, maybe it's a Trav song, so maybe not. But I just feel like there's more between those two, and for him to not use it for this project really indicates to me that they have enough for another project. So I could be off there.
Every track is his.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have them save that for their project. I don't need to hear Travis Scott on Cudi's project.
For sure. But I just think the surprise situation is definitely different comparison to Drake, who has been hyping up Certified Lover Boy for a couple of months now. It depends on what kind of fan you are. If you want the instant gratification, then it's cool to just get it real quick. If you're cool with waiting and getting a couple singles in the meantime, then that's cool too. I also heard, I'm not even going to talk about the rumor that Drake might drop a 5-pack, because I don't believe that at all. So that wraps up our topics for this week. We got some music to play. What do we got? Sheridan, we'll let you go first. What do you got this week, bro?
I don't even remember what I sent in. It was a couple days ago.
The D Huge track.
Oh, yeah. The new D Hughes track, Backup, word I can't say.
I've been waiting 4 days to see how you were gonna handle that.
Process is featured on this. It's a really great song. I'm loving it. It's a big step up in terms of mix for D Hughes. He really kills the hook. Process brings a really unique verse. It's a song I've been bumping a lot this week.
Shit is dope.
Bet, let's get it.
Say, bro.
Yeah.
I just called Shorty up.
Yeah, what she say?
Basically, she was kind of like, yo, bro, I don't fuck with you. And I got a man, but, you know, you can always hit me up next weekend type shit. It's like,
Fuck that shit, man. You ain't gotta be a backup nigga on call. Fuck that.
I mean, honestly, man, I'm trying to tell her, like, I'm not trying to be that man, but I can be that man, you know?
Yeah, I feel that shit. Get your grimy on, yeah.
Alright, bro, I'm gonna let you go.
Alright, bro.
I'm that backup nigga on call, just for the night, just for the weekend. When you need a backup nigga on call, when you both mad, don't feel like speaking. I'm that backup nigga on call. You don't wanna lie even when you catch feelings. Just a backup nigga on call, just a backup nigga on call.
That backup nigga, that's me. Don't do much, you don't even wanna speak. If we do, then it's cool. But the mood in the room and the red on your cheeks, think we know it might be. I put in the work, all you gotta do is reach. Don't wanna reach, unless you claiming you with me. Cause I got a lot of issues, that's why I don't miss you. Been talking for the mama, but we disappear for weeks. Funny how we fuck for the night, fuck till it's right, Rough for the night, slay you inside lazy. Tongue on the right hand, on your thighs crazy. Lie to your nigga, lie to me, then vanish. I don't do a whole lot of judging, but how you do 'em dirty and you still be acting flirty. Claiming that you really love him, put somebody else above him. Give him time, I hope he cuffin', but you still be calling me. That's that whole shit, but that's fine. You seem perfect in disguise. Fuck your problems, fuck your drama. Let's just work it out tonight. I'ma keep acting, reacting, oblivious. Hit it from the back with your head when you feeling it. When you react, give it back when I'm killing it. Now you wanna breathe, cut it up, and I'm leaving quick. I ain't with the vibes just for the night. How could I just trust you? I've been broken down so many times from ones like you. I think I'm like dash and run and just disappear. Find somebody else that'll make it real. You know you're fine, I don't think that's fair. But you calling me again, cause I'm that
Backup nigga on call, just for the night, just for the weekend. When you need a backup nigga on call, when you both mad, don't feel like speaking. I'm that backup nigga on call. You don't wanna lie even when you catch feelings. Just a backup nigga on call, just a backup.
Why can't I be first? I just think you ain't playing fair. You know those moments are the worst. I ain't just a side nigga. Yeah, girl, make up your mind. I ain't gon' get left behind. No, not this time. No, got silly games play for the man that you claim. Damn well it's not me. I ain't gon' fuck around, be inside peace. No, if that's a V, fucking man say la vie. Sneak in the sheets. I'm over there every other week. I'm your Saturday to Sunday thing. Girl, you know God watching, but I'm just another option. Girl, the clock keep ticking. This ain't another team dance. If I was your one romance, dinner reservation and plans. I ain't meant to be your backup man. Your backup man. Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's that new D Hughes. What'd you think of that, Ant?
I thought that was super dope. You know, this is a track that I've been bumping since it's dropped. Every time I see it get shared on the timeline, I give it a spin. Like Sheridan mentioned a little bit earlier, it's a step up in terms of mixing from how he usually goes about dropping a track. But we told him once he linked up with Process, it would change the shit, you feel me? And that's exactly what happened. The melodies on the hook were crazy. We spoke a little bit briefly the other day. I think D Hughes is easily one of the most creative rappers out here in terms of how unique his music is. Yeah, he's always rapping. He always is trying some experimental shit.
And he can genuinely sing. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean,
sing.
what? Yeah, I mean, he was flowing on the hook with the good vibes, and then he switches to that high octave, and it's like, oh shit!
Not
like,
a lot of people can do that, bro.
Exactly. He's really naturally talented. I'm glad to see he's taking everything more serious right now than he was for a little bit. Because he's a rapper I've wanted to see get in his bag. He's been dropping tracks consistently. Yeah, so much.
So much
And he's been dropping tracks consistently for years, to my knowledge, like literally years. It's just he never took the the next step to go about bettering his sound or collabing with other local juggernauts like Process, which is important. I'm not sure what took him so long, or if the credit he's been given recently made him pursue it a little bit harder. But keep going, bro, because this is a fucking bop. This is a fucking.
And like hearing his album, you heard hints of stuff like this. I can tell he's just gonna keep getting better. And I honestly, I think his mixes will get even better too. I'm pretty sure that Process sent him this back as the first mix, and he was just like, "It's in streaming services. Let's go." And Process was like, "Wait, I was gonna mix it again," but it still sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
And he recorded this somewhere else and then sent it to Process. So when he actually does a session with Process,
it'll be a whole other level.
Yo, and it is dope to watch this like come together too. The song, it happened so fast that I was almost surprised to see how it happened, because I saw the status where I think Process was talking about hoping to hop on something. D Hughes hit him up in the status, was like, "Yo, I got something." He sent it over. Like a week later, it was already uploaded. I was like, "Yo, y'all are working quick." Like that's how you like to see it. Like, because sometimes you see people start working together and then just nothing comes of it. So for it to have happened that quickly and get released that quickly and be able to sort of watch the process, for me as a fan, is real dope. Like that type of shit is real cool.
No pun.
Maybe something, no pun, but maybe something more fans should, or more artists should do, like collaborating and speaking about collaborations in the public to let people know that they're coming is an interesting way to go about it. So shout out to them. That was a great track. I really like that one. D Hughes has been on the rise. So.
Oh, he's going to continue. I'm sure 2021 is going to bring a whole different feeling for him. I hit up Process the other day, and I was like, "Bro, if you don't drop an album called Trust the Process, you're fucking lacking out here. You are lacking out here." He was like, "Say less. That's the next one." So we'll see if that actually happens. But I think Trust the Process is going to be his slogan.
Yeah, shit, it should be if it ain't already. So I'm up next. I got one. T Melly's November featuring Jay Guz. I always get names wrong, so I'm sure Ant will let me know.
You said it right this time, Jay Guz.
Bet. Jay Guz and T Melly's November. Let's get it.
We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. She don't deal with a problem, she'd rather push them aside. I've been sipping this bottle, I just popped a pill and I feel alive. Baby, hop in the ride, promise we gon' be alright. We gon' be there tonight. You got the gas, I got the drive. I need you by my side. She want this life and ain't new to me. Just drop some racks on some Louis V. Diamonds, they dancing all over me. Gotta be patient, just wait and see. Need a new bitch, I don't fuck with old shit. I've been on my grind and I'm staying focused. You never had the time when I was at my lowest. Now you tryna know shit. We could hop in the bench, you could bring all your friends, this ain't nothing new. Don't you worry about them, we could fucking be friends, but I'm done with you. I was in love with you. Now you a dub cause you lost all my trust, I don't know what the fuck to do. She don't deal with a problem, she'd rather push them aside. I've been sipping this bottle, I just popped a pill and I feel alive. Baby, hop in the ride, promise we gon' be alright. We gon' be there tonight. You got the gas, I got the drive. I need you by my side. Conversation slim, you shady. You know how to drive me crazy lately. I've been up to 5 a.m. daily. I was thinking maybe you should come through, we could talk. Know it's been a while, we don't gotta fuck. Every missed call that I dug. Girl, you know I got a reason. I've been playing defense, trying not to fall off the deep end. You ain't never met him, but you know I got some demons. You ain't gotta pretend, no, you free on the weekend, so Saturday night, we'll catch a flight, I'ma take you to wherever you like. If you down, baby, hit me tonight. Come around, I wanna keep you for life. She'd rather push him aside. I've been sipping this bottle, I just popped a pill and I feel alive.
got the gas, I got the drive. I need you by my side.
And that's November by T Melly featuring Jay Goose. I really like that. It's definitely a little bit slower, but I fuck with it a lot. So, what'd you guys think?
Man, you'll be hard pressed to find a T Melly song that I don't really fuck with. I think the feature complemented it pretty well. I'm not too familiar with Jay Goose. I know a couple tracks, but it's because T Melly put me on to him like that. Talented artist. I like the songs that I've heard from him. This is a fire track accompanied by a dope video. It came out last week?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it might have came out the same day as Cannon's Corner, if I'm not mistaken, or shortly after that. Bro. It's a vibe. It's really slow. It's dark. It's ominous, but it still has some energy to it. T Melly he did a good job of having like presence on that song, and the negative space only adds emotion to it. You feel me? It helps you feel it. I had a couple witty lines like "Conversation slim, she shady." You feel me? Like I liked it.
What do you think, Sheridan?
That's a total vibe. I listened to the song when it came out. I've listened to it a couple times since. The video is also dope. I think it's kind of just a matter of T Melly just being on the level where every time he puts out a track, it's a good track.
Yeah, it's just impressive, right? Like he's someone that I'd like to see continue to work with more people, and obviously he works with a lot of people, but just the more he works with, like every artist he works with, I'm like, oh, they sound great together. So
exactly, he adds. If somebody does a similar thing to T Melly, they can coexist on a track. If somebody does something completely different on a track with T Melly, it's gonna add a whole different flavor to it. You know, he can be the glue to a lot of people's tracks with how much control of his sound he has. Completely different artists, but him and Process are very similar in that manner. That they just have such control over their sound and a versatility to sound well, they can really coexist with almost anybody.
And shit, if you're one of these young artists out here looking for the right producer to work with, those guys you could book up with and shit really help what you've got going on. And just working with some of them, the Jake Daniels, the Process, the T Mellys of the area, they can not only help produce your music but help you grow as an artist too. I think it almost may be more beneficial, especially for some of the younger artists who maybe have never been in a studio environment, to start out with a couple of guys like that who will help you work on your craft, and then you get into an environment where they're less hands-on and you just kind of go and record, and then the producers do what you tell them to. You get more of an idea with guys like that. So T Melly does a great job, Process does a great job, so does Jake. There are plenty of other producers in the area that I'm not mentioning, but those three do an awesome job.
All of them, has worked with all of them. They will help take your sound to a next level, especially if you're one of the base level artists just getting your feet wet out here to start off. It would be a really good, cost-effective way.
It might seem weird to like, especially as an artist or whatever, your first thought might be, I want to go record at the main studio everyone's recording in, or the main one in my area that I know about. But if you start out by supporting some of these local artists, but it's almost like getting a teacher while you're producing, and it's not for everyone. Not every local artist is going to help you with what you've got going on, but a lot of these guys will. So you're not just paying for the production, you're paying for so much more that's going to help you in the long run. So it's really worth it to not jump right into the biggest buy you can get into. It might be worth it to budget yourself a little bit better. So
I'd have to agree.
Alrighty, we got one last track. Ant, what you got lined up for us?
I got a track by an artist named Tay Sav. It's called Goat Talk. I've been fucking with Brody for a while. He's real dope. He can do a lot of different things. He's rapping on this one. He be doing the melody, using the auto-tune sometimes. But I played this one because I think it's his most recent release, and I like the energy he had on it.
Bet, let's get it. Tay Sav, Goat Talk.
We gotta show niggas we still on fucking timing, you hear me? Sad game. Bout money, clip 'em if homie act funny. Niggas frail, painting they nails, fuck fuck is you, Bad Bunny? I hit the whip, then it crashed. Now you a crash dummy on the lap. Like fuck a job, I'm trying to get mad money. Feel like Winnie, I'm in a pool. I'm trying to get mad honey. Niggas like them CNC sodas. Niggas mad bummy. They know the gang sanction. The Trey Bacon spray the crib. He get 5 in his room like the new PlayStation. I'm in this Xbox. I ain't doing no game playing. Switching like Nintendo. Lotto, we got the van stinking. Brains on the floor. Now we can see what your man's thinking. Open the door, no shooting. Give up the gram spanking. My BO for dumb weed. Henny with that make me a demon. I make it go dumb speeds. I don't know why I'm always speeding. She see I got dumb cheese. Now she telling me that she need me. She trying to succeed cause she notice I'm succeeding. I can't stand a nigga that ain't got it but talking. Had a metro, did the trains. I was not with the woken. No, I ain't a boogie. But I could be an artist and choke him. Cause what's in his hoodie? I make him boogie off for this balking. I been a nigga with my arm in the rim. Vince Carter, bug on the team if they ain't ballin' enough. Coach Carter think he the GOAT. I'm the GOAT father. I'm something they don't forget, like they phone charger. Had me in the chrome charger. Arm go out the window, then the chrome spark them. Lately it's like I feel no pain. Guess I'm chrome hearted, I got them jaws going. Smoke with me, they know it's pain. I'm in the car smoking, look like I need an oil change. Niggas never see me stressed. I just found a wave like I'm a surfer. Make the drop and find a way without the GPS. Ways looking for cops to say they did, but I ain't seen them yet. Nigga been feeling real cold lately, I can see my breath. If I'm breaking bad, I make the gang cook and dish the meth. Tell me who the vet, and me the rap, I ain't stick up yet. In the Tesla with a Beretta with the extended neck. Give us 10 bands for a couple weeks, we could extend your death. Pop him like you paparazzi, shotty chop his body like karate. Niggas flip the paper like it's origami. Word to mommy, word to who you nasty with what? My pen could several bodies with a baddie, beautiful butt. I gladly shoot it, I buck at any pussy and any rookie. Bitches hit songs and wanna swing me cookie like bitch go book me or move along. Keep my phone on D&D when I'm getting my music on. Got the thotties on the leash, they act up, then I cut them off. Gang bitch.
That's Goat Talk by Trey Sav. I'm very unfamiliar with him, but I am officially a fan. That's one of the first times I ever wanted to play a track right back to back after. That's crazy. That was real great. What'd you think, Sheridan?
That was really crazy.
Every fucking bar, son. And that's not what he be on all the time. Like that when I heard this track has less than 400 views right now. He snapped.
That shit is crazy.
You know, and he has your attention from the jump, right?
And the flow is mad unique. Like it throws you off at first, but it's so dope.
Yeah. So y'all fuck with that one?
Oh yeah, you're right too, because he definitely he's got you hooked at the beginning before even rapping. You know what I mean? Just speaking over the track, but then he delivered on that energy too. Sometimes you get a whole different vibe where an artist will speak over a track and then just the rap does not match the tone of what you just got. That was it. That was fucking awesome. Like that was.
I'm glad y'all fuck with that. That's Tay Sav. We got a couple cooking right now. We're about to work together. I'm really excited. I found out about this person because I think Hundo shot a couple videos for him. And if it wasn't Hundo, it was Nico. And so as soon as I saw his first video, I was like, oh, nah, this dude's nice. Been chopping it up with him a little bit, but more so been watching him from a distance. And we finally connected. And this is somebody, I don't even know what type of track I want to send him. But after he dropped this 4 days ago, you feel me? So I'm definitely sending him some shit where you can go dumb like this. Like,
right.
No chip. Like, there's a lot of rappers, like he did the punchline rap so effectively. Like a lot of rappers, when they try to over punch, it can get corny or tiring by the end of the song. But he kept the real shit with the aggressive flow while being insanely witty. Using pop culture.
I was laughing the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and it's not even because it's necessarily funny. You're laughing because you caught it. You're like, oh, that nigga's crazy. Yep. Like it's one of those. So I think it's a shame that has 400 views right now. I hope he keeps pushing it because this shit, anybody who hears it'll be a fan of. But he's always going live 2-3 times a week in the studio. Just recording, playing music, so y'all should check him out if y'all fucked with that.
Shit, I'm gonna have to, because that was dope. That was real dope. So shout out to Trey Sav for that one.
Tay Sav.
Oh, Tay Sav, yeah, my bad. Tay Sav.
That's dope. I'm gonna check out more. I'm gonna check out more of his stuff for sure.
Absolutely. That does wrap up everything we've got to talk about this week. What do y'all got coming? What do y'all got to let them know about?
Cannon's Corner is still out there streaming. I sent if you're on
Run it
my
up.
mailing, if you're on my mailing list, you got a special email last night. And so I appreciate everybody that got that. If you're tuning in right now, I'm gonna keep those special offers going to you. Whenever this shit hits 2,500 streams, I'm dropping
And if you ain't signed up for that shit, sign up. Cause that's cool as
Sign
fuck.
it.
Like that type of shit is cool as fuck. How else you gonna get that kind of relationship with your artist? And if you are an artist, do shit like that where you could just send out tracks or whatever type of special shit you got for your fans. Cause that's dope, Ant. So
I appreciate you, bro. I'm trying to build it. I got a little foundation, so I'm excited for the people that got on the journey quick. I'm trying to build it to 500, 1,000 people by halfway through next year. And I really just want it to be a better direct-to-consumer relationship with y'all, so you guys can see the updates straight to your phone, and you don't have to keep checking social media to see what I'm doing. And I have stuff that I want to present to y'all. So Cannon's Corner is the only song available from the project. You got some special info if you got the email, but to everybody that's not on the mailing list, there will be a big announcement soon. I'm gonna drop the video to Cannon's Corner very, very soon, and shortly after that, I'll announce the project in full, and that's gonna get the ball rolling for a very healthy 2021. Me and Nazi and T Melly got a track that we're gonna drop soon. We got to shoot a video for that, so that's another heater that you guys are gonna have to pay attention to when it drops. I think that has a lot of potential. Besides that, just follow me on social media at Anthony Cannon everywhere, and make sure to submit your tracks to this competition episode, because Jake wants all the smoke, and I want somebody to give him some smoke. Just give him all that smoke in return, bro, because he's gunning.
you might as well submit them now, cause I'm gonna be messaging y'all a week before, like, yo, where's them tracks at? So
I'm
hitting
niggas DMs. I'm in the inbox, like, where it at? You feel me?
Too.
And I'm gonna hit Tay Sav. And I'm gonna tell him to submit something, and I know he's gonna bring that smoke, right? So let's get it. I appreciate y'all for rocking with us, and I'm excited for that Corey interview next week.
Me too. What you got going on, Sheridan?
Like I've been saying, I'm keeping it quiet the rest of the year, but beginning of 2021, I think y'all will start to hear some more from me. I've been working a lot. I'm kind of back into work mode right now. So it's creation time. I got a session with D Brown next week. I'm kind of just ready to just continue to fill up the clip, and just slowly let it go. Because everything's gonna get a much more calculated push behind it at this point. I don't really want to waste any more time. I'm ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're unbanned, so you can start getting more calculated, right?
Yeah, and I'm keeping it PC on the book from now on. No swear word.
Says the dude who was messaging some dude about pounding out his daughter this morning.
No, yo, nah, I wouldn't know.
Anyways, you guys can check out Upstate Aesthetic on Facebook. We got all kinds of news on the website, Upstate.aesthetic.com. Make sure y'all follow us on...
Follow me on social media and Upstate Aesthetic.
Yeah, follow Upstate Aesthetic. We got the competition episode coming. Make sure y'all submit your tracks. We're back next week with an interview with Corey. I'm real excited about that. We're going to be talking about his project For Anyone dropping on December 18th. So we got Corey next week for an interview. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Upstate Aesthetic. Until next week, we're going to play a little bit of Chicken Spot and get out of here. See you guys.